They reached the forest entrance, where a guard asked for his ranking. Our protagonist handed over his ID card. The guard looked at it and called out, "Adventurer ranking 2728. You may enter." The guard permitted him to proceed. As they walked through the gate, our protagonist asked her, "How many people are in the adventurer ranking?" She replied, "Roughly 30,000, but only around 20,000 are actively participating. Still, it's incomparable to other rankings. The adventurer ranking is said to be on a whole different level digit-wise." He responded, "A whole different level digit-wise?" She continued, "For example, a 4-digit adventurer ranker would be equivalent to a 3-digit ranker in other rankings. That's how high the quality of the adventurer ranking is. A 3-digit adventurer ranker is equivalent to a 2-digit ranker. In other rankings, they're more skilled than the two you fought in the exam." Upon hearing that, his expression shifted to disdain. She looked at him with a playful expression after seeing his reaction and stepped forward, saying, "Let the adventure begin." We then see them walking through the woods along a trail. Our protagonist had an irritated expression. Noticing it, she asked, "What's wrong?" He answered, "This isn't an ordinary forest." She asked if he had noticed. She continued, "They say a skilled adventurer can tell how dangerous the land is at a glance, but ordinary people would have no way of knowing. That's why the danger zone ranking was created. The reason Azaban Forest was added to the danger zone ranking 2 months ago is simple." But she didn't get the chance to finish. Suddenly, a herd of monsters rushed at them. However, our protagonist was prepared. He jumped toward the herd just as the ranker office girl shouted, "Protect me." He told her to leave it to him. He cut down the monsters one by one skillfully, wielding his sword. As he did so, a large bird-like monster flew at him from above. He caught it by its beak and cut it down, then finished off the remaining monsters with a single sword strike. After defeating them, the girl came closer and asked, "Was that technique just now one Adel taught you?" He replied, "Yes," still holding the sword. He continued, saying he had learned several techniques from Adel, but there were still many he couldn't use. Looking away from her, he added that he might be able to use the second technique soon. While they were talking, a giant foot approached them. A broad orc, a danger-level monster. Ranked 126. The giant growled at him. At the same time, our protagonist began preparing for an attack and told her, "I should test it." A green vortex of energy surrounded him, and as he said the name of the technique, Mid-Path Lotus Flower, he struck the monster, forming a cross-shaped attack. But the monster stood still, the energy disappeared. Both stared at it in disbelief, and it stared back. After a moment of silence, the monster roared and charged. They began running. While fleeing, she yelled, "What are you doing?" He responded, "It was a failure. I thought it would work." Without changing his expression, he continued yelling, "Have you forgotten that I'm supposed to protect your life?" They kept running until they reached a cliff. Without hesitation, he picked her up and said, "We're jumping." She screamed, "Wait," but didn't get the chance to finish. He jumped off the cliff holding her tightly. They flew toward the ground, and after landing at the top of a tree, he skillfully jumped between branches and landed softly. Her soul had practically left her body during the jump. After setting her down, he let out a relaxed "Phew," like it was nothing. That made her furious. She yelled, "What do you mean, phew? If you were going to do that, at least warn me first." He replied while walking forward, "Adel's training was mostly like that, so it just became a habit." Still angry, she asked, "Seriously, what kind of training did you even do?" Suddenly, he noticed something. As they reached a certain area, she excitedly said, We're lucky. This is the survey target area. She explained that after Azaban Forest was designated as a danger zone, the ecosystem survey had to be redone. She said about 80% of the survey was complete, but 20% remained, and this was the area where the massive monster outbreak occurred. Due to his lack of response, she called out, "Lo!" He replied, "The plants and animals. They're all things I've never seen before." In that moment, he realized the true beauty of adventure. Memories of his childhood friend flooded into his mind, her invitation to adventure together, the excitement she felt. It all overwhelmed him. Just then, they heard a sound behind them. Turning around, they saw a wolf horn standing there. Lo began to unsheath his sword to attack, but the Ranker office girl stopped him, saying, "That's a magical beast." As she said that, they noticed the beasts were trembling.